welcome to another episode of Medical Money, the podcast where we help healthcare professionals like you learn finance and money. I'm Kirk Roberts. I'm an ER nurse, financial educator, and licensed financial representative.
And I'm Ben Chandia, firefighter, advanced CMT, and also a licensed financial representative. Okay, guys, today we're going to be going on the topic of your foundation, okay? Income protection, why it's so important. We've talked about some basics before. Today we're going to get into some specifics, okay? Specifically, term life insurance and why it's so important to have.
Okay, term life insurance. It's like renting protection for your family. So let's just talk about some of the definitions. You pay a monthly fee called a premium. Now, it covers you for a certain amount of time. That's called a term, like 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever it may be. Now, if you die during that term of time, your family gets a large tax-free payout called the death benefit. Now, if you don't die, nothing happens. Now, that's actually a good thing, guys. So it's simple, it's affordable, and it's designed to protect your income and your family and their future as well.
Yeah, guys, so let's throw an example here, okay? What we're kind of looking at. Let's say you're 35 years old, okay? And you make about $75,000 a year, okay? If you get a 20-year term policy for, say, $1 million, you're looking probably around like $30 a month. Okay. And again, like Kirk said, if something happens within that 20 years, boom, your family gets $1 million. Okay. Now that is going to help replace that income like we've been talking about. Also going to take care of paying off the house, any debts that you may have, make sure that you don't have to pull the kids out from school and move across town to live with your in-laws, right? We don't want any of that. Okay. That's how simple and affordable it can be.
And guys, think about this too. If you were to pass away, do you think that the mortgage company and your bills company would call up and go, oh my gosh, we're so sorry about your loss. You don't have to worry about paying the bills anymore. No more mortgage. Guys, you still have to pay. That's what income protection is all about. So we're going to drill this in your head a lot, but the sole purpose of insurance is protection, never about investments. All right, so let's talk about a concept called the model of changing needs. And this has been around for quite a while. There's some other names for it as well, but this explains the need for income protection as your family's needs adapt, right? That can change over time. So this model discusses two risks in life. One is I die too soon, and the other is I live too long. What do we need? Money.
Yeah, and really you need to worry about both of them, okay? Now the first half, right? Dying too soon, okay? Obviously we don't want to die. Okay, we all want to live long. We don't want to die, right? We get it, okay? You have to look at it though, right? In our early years, we usually don't have a lot of money just hanging out or sitting around. We don't have a lot of rich uncles, okay? Maybe you do, and if you do, great, awesome, okay? Typically though, there's not a lot of those running around, okay? But what we do have is a lot of liabilities, if you will, okay? You have a mortgage, you have young kids, right? Maybe some debts. Things that depend on one thing, your income, right? You bring in the money and it pays those things, okay? If you go, your income also goes, okay? Guess what doesn't leave? All of those obligations, okay? That's what we're trying to take care of. And that's why it's so important to make sure that we're protecting the here and now, at least temporarily, okay? At least until we can get your investments up and running and to a point where maybe you don't even need the life insurance.
And guys, that's where actually ties into the next risk of living too long. I mean, how many of you have actually gone to Walmart, you're walking in, you see some guy there in his late 70s, like, hi, welcome to Walmart, right? And he's there because maybe he doesn't have enough protection. So living too long. And medical science is getting better, guys. We're living longer, right? So if the problem, the risk is living too long is if the earners are able to invest their money well, like Ben was talking about, and build up sufficient money for their retirement, for their needs, do they need insurance anymore? No. So basically that flip side is now the children are out of the house. Your mortgage, or you have no more mortgage, you have little debt left. Do you need to have you need insurance now if you're already self-funded? Investing properly is the key here. So whatever might happen, like I said, insurance is for the protection of that time if you die too soon or you live too long. Now, I know this actually comes down to making sure you have a good plan.
Yeah, and really that's what it comes down to, is making sure that your plan is solid, okay? Do you even need life insurance, right? If you do, how long do you need it for, Okay. Now, putting this plan together can be done by a licensed financial representative. Okay. Make sure they're licensed. You don't want to just go down to the corner at 7-Eleven and get whatever there. Okay. Nothing against 7-Eleven, but you get what I mean. Okay. Make sure that you're focusing on this plan, guys, that you're focusing on the plan. You're getting specifics on what you actually need.
Now I can hear through the internet people going, I don't need this kind of stuff, right? So here's some common excuses that we've actually heard from people. The top 10 reasons why, or a reason why people don't think they need insurance. One, they don't want to acknowledge the fact that they could possibly die. Is that whole mortality thing. Another thing, people don't directly benefit from having income protection. In other words, there's nothing you're receiving now for this benefit. You kind of die before you get this benefit. So they're like, well, I'm not going to get any benefit from it, so why have it? Next one, they think it's too expensive. Well, Ben actually talked about it. You can get a good term insurance policy pretty cheaply, depending on your health and your age and all that, but you can get one pretty inexpensive. Another one, it's too complicated, right? And now a lot of people are like, it's too complicated. I don't want to know about it. So they put their head in the dirt like an ostrich. We call it the ostrich effect. Right? If you put your head in the dirt, you can't see the problem, right? So it's too complicated. They think it's also another debt payment. Oh man, I got to pay another debt. No, guys, this is not a debt payment. This is an investment in your family so that they can have a future. They think that only older people need it. I'm a young person, I don't need it, right? Another one, a life insurance agent could be kind of pushy and they want a commission. So they'd be kind of pushing this on you. Another thing is they don't trust insurance companies. I mean, they're a scam. They're just looking for my money. And then also a lot of people don't understand what's the type of income protection that is best for them. And that goes back to that financial plan with a licensed rep so that you can actually get the plan that works best for you and your needs. Now, there's an expert, his name is David Ramsey. He actually does financial peace, and he states this. He says, life insurance has one job. It's to replace your income when you die. That's it.
Yeah, that's really it. And like you said, we're going to keep hammering this into, okay? It's all about the plan, right? Do you even need life insurance, okay? What is your goals? What's your objectives, right? Now, I will say it's definitely better to be safe than sorry, okay? Or getting to the point where you need it, but maybe you don't have it, okay? That's a worst case scenario. We don't want that, right? Because how many times do we go and we see, something happens to someone we know or we see on social media, and the first thing that happens is a GoFundMe account.
Tamales, car wash,
you name it, people have tried it. Okay, yard sales. Like, come on, guys. That's not. It's all about being proactive versus reactive. Okay, that's the goal here, right? We want to be proactive with worst case scenarios versus reactive. Okay, better safe than sorry. I mean, we see it in the field all the time, right? If I go on a 911 call, I have very limited abilities in the field, okay? I can take their vitals, look at maybe an EKG, something like that, but I don't have any lab equipment. I can't do blood. I don't have x-ray vision, none of that stuff, okay? So typically, we default to going to the ER, okay? Let's go in the ambulance or go with family member. Better safe than sorry, okay? Same concept here, guys.
And really, this is the truth of income protection. Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. All right, let's look at a couple more excuses that people have. The one always comes up, I'm young and healthy, I don't need it. Well, the reality is that's exactly why you should get it now, because it's cheaper when you're younger and you're also healthier. Now, wait till you're older and have some health issues, guess what? It happens to the price. Goes up. Yeah. And you may not even qualify at all.
Yeah. Now, well, Kirk, I get it through work. Am I okay?
Now, we've talked about this in our last one, insurance basics, when we talked about group insurance. Now, remember, that's only based off of one time your salary, and that's not normally enough. And also, what happens if you quit or you get fired or you lose your job or you go somewhere else? You no longer have it. You need a personal policy that you can control, not your job. And many group insurance lifestyle policies, like I said, they only cover you if you're actively working, and they can be amended or terminated. Remember how I brought up when I had in the COVID period, my group insurance was canceled. Guys.
It's crazy. So, well, Kirk, I mean, it's a waste of money if I don't die.
Well, so is your car insurance and so is your health insurance then, right? Because you hopefully not to get in a crash, but you have car insurance, one, because it's the law. Secondly, because you may need it. And also the same thing with health insurance. If you get sick, it's not like you're trying to win the lottery. You're protecting your family's financial survival. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe I don't have kids or a spouse yet.
All right. And so that's right there's the rationale of maybe you lock in a great rate now that's a low rate, something you can play while you're healthy. And then in the future, if you do have kids and spouses or a business, you'll be grateful you actually had this, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll just do it later.
And I hear this all the time. You're like, you know what? I'm too busy. Later never becomes never, right? Something always happens. And then it's too late. So no one plans to die unexpectedly, but it happens every day. And especially in healthcare and with first responders, all day long, right?
All the time. I mean, yeah, no one's going to plan to die.
So why is this even necessary?
Yeah, guys, this is so important, okay? First of all, it's protecting that income, right? Or replacing it. Your biggest asset, okay? You make the money. Hey, if you go, so does your income, right? So we got to protect that income there, okay? It keeps your family in their home, right? The last thing you want to do is if you go, have to uproot your family, move in across town with in-laws. Yeah, I mean, your wife's going to be cursing at you from the grave, or, I'll be hearing it from the grave if that happened to me, okay? We want to make sure that your debts are taken care of, right? Any final expenses, medical bills, whatever the case is, we don't want to put that burden on our loved ones. That's the last thing we want to do. They're already suffering with your loss. We don't want to have to add any added burdens to them, okay? The other thing, too, is it brings you peace of mind, okay? The fact that I know if something were to happen to me, Kirk, that my wife and my kids are going to be okay. I mean, that peace of mind there, it helps me sleep better at night. I promise you, it really helps. And the other thing is that it's really not that expensive. Like I said, maybe $30 a month, to get that much, just to, again, be proactive if the worst should happen. Guys, I mean, it's okay to sacrifice a couple Starbucks visits. Okay, it's okay. You're not gonna die. I mean, you might feel like you're gonna die if you don't have your Starbucks. Some of you know who you are.
But if you do die, you have insurance.
Hey,
there you go.
There we go.
All right, guys. Look, you don't buy life insurance because you're going to die. You buy it because people you love are going to live, right? And so, okay, guys, thanks for being here with us today. Please subscribe to our podcast. If you don't miss another episode. If you know any nurse, EMT, doctor, anyone in healthcare that may be great at saving lives, but maybe not so great at saving money, please send this podcast their way.
And if you guys have any questions or any topics you want us to cover specifically on here, please email those questions to medicalmoneycash@gmail.com. We'll be happy to hear from you guys.
As we always saying, guys, does this make sense? Or does this make dollars? All right, guys. Our next two podcasts, we're actually going to be going over the income protection on the other side, which is life insurance known as cash value. So tune in next time, and we'll get you seen there next. Bye.
I'm looking for a man in finance. Trust fund. 6'5", blue eyes. Finance. Trust fund. 6'5". I'm looking for a man in finance. Trust fund.